Ever wondered what it's like to work with a professional website designer? Or does the thought of getting a completely custom, brand new website fully up and running in 2 weeks sound too good to be true? Well, I'm excited to tell you that it's not too good to be true because I do it. And today I'm giving you a sneak peek into my process working with clients as a web designer. Hey guys, welcome back. If you don't know me, my name is Renita. I'm a website designer who loves teaching people about Squarespace, and I'm the creator behind Gold Standard Design. If you are a creator, a blogger, a podcaster, solopreneur, any of the things, looking to dive into the world of Squarespace, I got you covered. Okay, so let's say someone is looking for a web designer to build them a website and they found me. The first step in the process would be booking something called a discovery call. And the prospective client would fill out a booking form on my website to kind of tell me a little bit more about what they're looking for, what things they're interested in, what they're hoping to get out of a project, stuff like that. And then they would pick a time in my calendar so that we can go over all of those things in a video call. So the purpose for this initial call is for me to ask a few questions. One, to more clearly define the scope of what this person is wanting. Two, to see if I'm able to deliver what they're wanting. And three, to see if we would even be a good fit and work well together. Now, this last part is both a judgment on my side as well as their side, because let's say they meet me and I don't know, they don't like me for any reason. Obviously, we wouldn't be a good fit to work on a project together, and that's okay. Not everyone is a good fit, some people click, some people don't. After this, After this call, I will go ahead and write up a proposal and contract for their project, outlining all the things that we talked about and just really making all the deliverables clear so that we're both on the same page. And then from there, the client has the option to respond and accept the proposal and contract, to request edits to the proposal, or to just not say anything and we go our separate ways. Once the client has accepted the proposal and signed the contract, they will receive an invoice for their initial deposit. Now, personally, I prefer to bill in thirds, so this initial deposit will be 1/3 of the total project cost, if that makes sense. And this is just to hold space in my calendar for this client, and it just lets me know that they're serious about working together. Once I've received their deposit, I like to go ahead and send them a little gift just to say thank you for choosing to work with me and just to show that I value their business. I usually use a site called BoxFox for this, which is nice because you can sort their gifts by price, category, occasion, or you can just even build a custom box with like different items that you find on their site. Now, side note, this is not sponsored, but I do like using BoxFox to send my little thank you gifts to clients. And I do know there are other sites that you can use, but I just have used BoxFox and found that I really like how they work. Now that the paperwork stuff is done, we get into the client homework section, which I'm realizing now doesn't sound like very much fun because I don't know that there are a ton of people who love doing homework. But regardless, when we had our discovery call, I would have mentioned that the client would need to pick a date, a start date on my design calendar for our project, but that they would need to give themselves plenty of time before this date because they would have homework to complete first. So, because I don't actually start building the website until all of the content is completed, it's important that that's done before our project date begins. So, one thing I do make very clear is that if all their homework is not completed by the project start date, they will need to pay another deposit and pick another start date. And I found that this is a good way to keep people on track because who wants to pay more money for no reason? I know I don't. And this also helps me keep my schedule when it comes to other clients as well. Because let's say one person started a few days late, that means I'm going to be pushing back the next person a few days, which is not fair to the next person. at all. So I just found that this is a great way that we can, keep things from getting out of hand and everything like that. So, what is this homework, you asked? Great question. I'd love to tell you. I create a Google folder for each of my clients with a couple different questionnaires and a couple other things in there too, like copy templates and instructions on how to create a Pinterest inspo board and things like this. Now, the questionnaires and the Pinterest board are more so for the people who don't necessarily have their brand or style quite figured out yet. So, if someone already has an established brand, we just skip this step. Now, the copy templates are guides that take them through everything from how to write all the words that go on their website pages. That's called copy. And then I do encourage my clients to write the majority of their copy themselves with, of course, help from the prompts and guides and templates that I provide, just because it's important that their unique style and personality comes through on their website. Now, this Google folder will also be a place for the client to drop any pictures or images that they want me to include on the website. And this will also end up being kind of the main way that we communicate once the project starts. It ends up being much easier for me this way than trying to sort through a bunch of emails and kind of put all the materials in the right folders and sort by person and just stay on top of all of that. And this folder is also where I'll store any graphics or assets that I create for their website so that the client can download all of those once we finish our project and have them to keep for themselves. Now, if you're interested in seeing how I help my clients prep and write their website copy, I've got a free Squarespace website prep guide that I'll link down below. It'll take you through everything from how to research what people are looking for in your industry or niche, researching your competition, things like using those writing prompts that I've been talking about, really to kind of help you get your creative juices flowing for each different page on your website, like your home page, about page, contact page, all the things. And as a bonus, I've included a few key design tips in this guide as well. So if you're wanting to tackle building your website yourself, you can totally do it in record time. All right, now that we've got the date picked, the homework completed, we're ready to officially start building a website. Hooray! On day one of the 2-week period, I schedule an opening call to confirm any small details like logins or passwords that I might need, and just confirm everything one more time before I start. Now I get to work on building what will become the home page. So on this first day, I'm putting together a color palette if the client doesn't already have one. I am doing things like setting fonts, playing with the look of buttons and links, basically doing all of the style stuff first. And then once that's done, I send this page link to the client so they can review it and make sure any initial edits to the style that they want are completed. So the reason that I send them this first request for edits so soon is because it's easier to get the basics like colors and fonts set up front rather than changing something after like 4 or 5 pages are already built and now I've got to comb through each page to see how all the changes look. So in case you were wondering, I do build my clients' websites inside my own Squarespace account. And I do that because it gives me just a bit of security to know that they won't just kick me out of their Squarespace account and take off with their website without paying. Also, since I'm a Squarespace Circle member, I can actually get my clients a 20% discount on their Squarespace plan by building it in my account first and then handing it off to them later. Okay, so once the client has signed off on the styling, I go ahead and get into kind of the meat of building out each page that they've requested. So now's the time where I'm adding in all of the content that they provided, all the copy, text, images, popping all that in, embedding links, all that good stuff. I'm also checking the mobile design to make sure that looks good and works well also. Now, after the site has been built, I send the link to a client a second time for them to poke around, play with, and review. This is now where we'll go kind of back and forth with the client requesting edits and then me completing them for review. And we do that as many times as is necessary until the client is happy. So I give my clients an unlimited amount of edits within our 2-week period. So it's important that we're both really responsive and on top of things during these 2 weeks. So, we're sending communications maybe a lot, maybe sometimes fast. Also set this time that I will send an invoice for the second of the 3 payments as we're about halfway through the project. Also, during the second week, as I'm making all the edits, I'm testing out the functionality of the links and buttons that I've added. So basically like clicking on each one and making sure it goes where it's supposed to. And then of course finishing any finishing touches or tweaks to make the site look and feel exactly how it's supposed to and exactly how the client wants. So on the last Thursday of our project timeline, I will send the site link to the client one last time for them to go through and just request any last edits, make sure they do a full walkthrough just one more time and make sure everything is feeling good to them. The last step is actually to get the site launched and live. So I will schedule another video call with the client so that I can walk them through exactly how to use and update their entire site. And my goal for every client is to get them familiar and comfortable enough with their site to be able to work on it themselves so that they won't need to pay me or any other designer to work on it later on if they don't want to. They totally can, but maybe you don't want to do that. So this video gets recorded and then I'll put it on a hidden page of their website so that they can refer back to it whenever they need to. If they're like, oh, I forgot how to make an edit or I forgot how to add this, that's where they can find that information. During this call, I'll also send over the final invoice with a quick link to pay while we're chatting. And I do this on the call because it's the easiest way to make sure that we both get what we're after. I'm after the money we agreed on and they're after their website. So I just figure it's best to kind of, take care of both of those things at once. Once I've received their final payment, I will go ahead and transfer the website from my account to theirs, and then I'll show them how to pick a Squarespace plan if they didn't already have one in mind, kind of walk through the pros and cons of what they'll need and what just works best for them. And as I mentioned earlier, a perk of building my clients' websites inside my Squarespace account is that once I turn it over to them, I can pass along that 20% savings on their first Squarespace plan. So, that's fun. Now that we've wrapped up the project, completed all the payments, and launched the website, everything is super great and super awesome and perfect, right? Well, mostly yes, but sometimes no, which is why I give my clients a 2-week period after we finish to reach out to me with any follow-up questions or problems that they're experiencing. Now, if it's something that we didn't cover in our launch day tutorial call and it's something pretty simple for me to fix, I'll usually just go ahead and take care of it. And if it's something we did cover in the launch day tutorial, I'll just point them to the timestamp in the video where I talk about that and show how to fix the problem. But if it's something more complicated, like maybe adding a completely new feature that we didn't discuss, I'll just offer them the option of booking my time to add in whatever that thing is. So they can do that, or they can come through my blog post and see if it's in there also. Now, if you're interested in working with me or even just chatting to get my take on a project that you've got in mind, I'll go ahead and put a link to my booking page in the description. And this is a totally free call that you can schedule with me if you want to talk about any questions or concerns or anything like that. And if you found any of this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Squarespace tips and tricks. And let me know in the comments what other things you're interested in learning about Squarespace, websites, or online business. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!